Shut up and sit down.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you're listening across the world. Welcome.
That's my Kamala dance, Kamala Harris dance.
Yeah, that's right. Some celebrations for the Democratic Party. Let's start off with that one. With me today, as always, is the J-Man, Jack Manuel. How are you, buddy? Obviously in high spirits.
Who wouldn't be, Nick? You know, I've had a decent enough week, and we have a white supremacist no longer the leader of the free world. So it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Life is good. It was a tense 5 days. I don't know why. I was tuned into the, ABC News had a live stream for days, honestly, and I did not turn it off. Very invested in this election more than any Australian election. We've only got 150 seats in the House, and that's obviously a lot easier to count than America's billion population, what feels like. It's been a good week in life in America, and we had Trump booed out of the White House very recently. It's everything's coming up Millhouse, Jackie boy. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Did you see my Twitter?
No.
I literally.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Oh my God, that's like weird.
Great
I
minds,
posted
mate.
it's a good end to the year. We've got, a white supremacist no longer in the White House. Kevin Durant's going to be pulling on the black and white soon. Joe Harris is going to be re-signing. And I put in the GIF, everything's coming up Millhouse.
There you go. Great minds think alike, Jackie boy. We are kindred spirits. All right, as always, Twitter links down there. Oh, wait, I'm trying to get my bearings right. YouTube's hard. At the JBAD JBT or at JBT Nick. You can follow us on Twitter. We are also closely affiliated with OTG Basketball. They've got an awesome news website and podcast network and YouTube network, which you can find us on. We can keep up to date with all things NBA. Make sure you give them a follow on Twitter at OTG Basketball, and on YouTube at OTG Basketball. Facebook.com/JustBallThings. We are there. We are active. Facebook is very big in Australia, so that's how we sort of commune. And we're also on Twitter, our personal ones, just there. JBTpodcast at gmail.com. You can hit us up on email, and we will read them out on the show. Anything you want to send us? Send us via DMs. Doesn't have to be email. DMs as well work the same.
Nick just doesn't go on Twitter.
I get notifications, and I go on there sometimes. When I post, it's quality. Yeah. It's quality over quantity, Jackie boy. And you have found this rare happy medium between them both, because you have the quantity and the quality, especially if you're a Nets fan. Go at
Did we
JBT.
both start on Twitter at the same time?
Probably. You embraced it a lot more than I do. I embrace Facebook and stuff because it's used more in Australia, Facebook. But yes, US listeners love their Twitskis. And it's good. Yep. I like it. I like Twitter.
Speaking of Twitter, Nick. Speaking of Twitter.
What's speaking of Twitter?
I gave you a perfect segue into the Busick Manuel scale, you dumb bum.
Speaking of Wikipedia, the Busick Manuel scale, for those of you who are new, this is a JBT created scale that sums up how likely things are to happen in the NBA. We scale it on alternative fact, Twitter fact, Wikipedia fact, and just a straight up fact. Jackie boy, the first one here, the NBA is coming back. It's coming back in a very, very accelerated way. The decision to bring back the NBA on December 22nd is monstrously stupid and greedy.
I just like the word monstrously. And I didn't come up with this. This is via Samuel H. Quinn of CBS Sports, and you could follow on Twitter. I always have a good back and forth with him whenever I'm chatting hoops. Now, I disagree. I think there is an element of greed to it, but it's justified greed, if that makes any sense, Nick. Like, it's greed it's shared greed, shared wealth, because an extra $500 million doesn't just go to the owners. It goes to the players. And while players like LeBron James and Danny Green might not agree with it, we saw LeBron James go on his Instagram when he saw that this would be the shortest offseason of any American sport in history. I think it's 71 days off the top of my head. Yeah. Now, obviously, LeBron is going to be like that, but then he also... There's reports saying that he changed his tune and he's now one of the leaders. And it's just like, you can't. Now, it reminds me of Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top. That's basically what LeBron James is doing. But he's doing what he wants on behind the scenes. But then he's telling like Brian Windhorst or whoever as his media members to twist it one way. I think that there are obviously risks involved. And we've chatted about these in terms of, being the fact that it's like 71 days. It kind of reminds me, and you could probably speak to this a little bit as well, because we're both sort of EPL fans, that the short off season has accelerated in a similar way to the EPL off season, and coming back, and obviously their condensed fixture has been, just last night, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who I'm not a fan of after the defeat last night to the Toffees, was sort of saying how bad their fixture is for obviously a Champions League and the Carabao Cup and all these different things going along. Now, I'm look, at the end of the day, it's money, Nick. I was wearing green yesterday on the outlet because money talks. And $500 million compared to like $100 million. And obviously, there's so many different parameters to get around it. I'm looking forward to a Christmas Day basketball as well. For us, Boxing Day, it's always very, very enjoyable time of year. Something to look forward to, and a good way to end the year. It seems like there are good things, and it's not that I don't see the risks involved. And I outlined a lot of those with K Wall and Nick Fay on the outlet. Check that episode out on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and stuff as well. I was throwing questions back and forth that we've chatted about in terms of the rest and the rust and the injury possibilities. Do you think, Nick, I guess, that this is monstrously stupid and greedy? Is there any element of stupidity? I don't think it's stupid. I think that, if you're looking at it objectively, you can say it's greedy because it's going to get them more money. But I don't think it's stupid because it would be dumb in an opposite fashion to leave $500 million on the table and then just wait till January or wait till March and just sort of go, oh, well, we might have a vaccine by then. That, to me, is stupider than, having this accelerated offseason, despite the risks involved that we've discussed.
Yeah, obviously I was in the boat of a March-ish restart. Obviously very unlikely and impossible now of that ever happening. Mainly because I thought the goal was to get butts in seats, and that would bring back a lot of money. Having stadiums and ticket sales and all that. I don't think this is monstrously stupid. I think it is in the best interest of the players, especially your 10th guy. Your 7 to 10 guys, the 10th guys on the bench. Those are the people that are impacted the most on money. Financial changes in the NBA. Yep. Because LeBron James could theoretically get $0 from a playing contract and still make millions from it. A million other things that he's doing, and a lot of players have set themselves up in that vein. Because they've got the celebrity factor. So your big celebrities aren't too fussed about
what's Mo Wagner going to do, Nick?
Exactly. What's David Bertans going to do if we can't offer him the max? It's a nightmare for these sort of players, for these sort of lower echelon players. That walking away, and obviously those lower echelon players make up the majority of the NBA. It's the same with politics. We're not talking about the 1% here. It's the good of the many. And so I think from that standpoint, it was smart. If the metrics are correct that you are losing that much money for just pushing the season back a month, then by all means go for it. The only issue is that you're going to see more and more players resting, and that can impact money, for one. Owners and they need to be realistic, and they need to acknowledge the fact that this is going to happen now. It's 100% going to happen. You're going to see LeBron James. You're going to see Anthony Davis. You're going to see them alternating games, I reckon.
You said it to Barack Obama.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. These stars are going to be cherry-picking their games. Exactly what LeBron said. And it's not going to be just LeBron. It's going to be everyone in the NBA. to gear themselves up, especially those who went late. Your Nuggets, your Miami, obviously, your
Boston.
Boston. I was forgetting the Eastern Conference finalists.
So long ago,
it feels like it was ages ago, but it also wasn't. Yeah. So for these teams, it's going to be majorly important to rest up during the season. They are playing 72 games, but they are still aiming for that July-ish playoffs. So
July.
Yeah. So the spread of games is going to be more or less the same as a normal season. So there's going to be back-to-backs. There's going to be less back-to-backs, but there's going to be back-to-backs. You're going to see no star player play in those back-to-backs. And I can see controversy happening from that, but it shouldn't, because they should be expecting that. I think they're just going to kick and scream and be like, well, you need to find these players for resting, and you're going to... It'll be interesting to see what the NBA do in terms of these fines and how strict they are, because I think they need to come to a realization that, these are... And they need to do their best in their scheduling to sort of prevent this. But I think it's an inevitability that you're going to see a lot more load management this season.
That's a good point. Obviously San Antonio were probably the innovators with it, and Greg Popovich and some of his superstars were fine. I can't see it happening, and it's a point that I haven't heard before, and I think it's a really good one that you brought up, because technically, obviously the TV product is what is going to matter more than anything this season, at least at the start of this season. Hopefully later in the season we can see fans and the playoffs, and hopefully there's a vaccine by then. I can go and see KD and Kyrie play in the finals. That would be, oh my God, my dreams would be coming true. But before that point, the TV product is what is going to matter. And if you don't have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on Christmas Day, if you don't have KD and Kyrie, if you don't have Nikola Jokic, you don't have all these superstars playing at points on ESPN or TNT, you're going to have less viewers. It's just plain and simple. So I think it's a really good point, Nick. But another semi-superstar who was probably impacted, at least to some extent, by this rapid return is Jrue Holiday. And Nick, he is officially in trade packages. He is officially been put out on the market by Shams Charania. When you hear it from Shams, when you hear it from Woj, you know it's happening. And I spoke about this, as you would expect, at length with Nick Fay and Joe Money McCarr and how it pertains to the Brooklyn Nets. But Nick, I'll put to you, Jrue Holiday, and we've got some video of our guy playing, the best of the Holiday brothers, the Holiday trio. Is he overrated? Jrue Holiday is overrated.
I think he gets... It really depends. Like, he gets rated as a... Is it too much to say he's a second? He's a number 2 on a team? Because I think it is.
I would say he is the ideal number 3. Like, if we're talking about the best versions of number 2s, it's... number 2. The best versions of number 2 is like Anthony Davis / Paul George. Jrue Holiday is the perfect 2B/3 to me. Like, that's why.
And so I think that is perfectly rated for him. And I have heard a lot of pundits say that that is exactly his position in the NBA, and I think that is perfectly rated. Does the casual overrate him? Does the casual think, do they think back to that playoffs and, think that he, exactly. And think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread? Potentially. Does that make him overrated in their eyes? Of course. But I think the majority of pundits have him pretty well placed. I don't think he's below a number 3 guy. I think his defense alone puts him well above a lot of guards in the league. And obviously he's still got some offensive prowess. But if we're talking it depends on what he's asked to do on a team. So if he's asked to come to the Brooklyn Nets, for example, probably offense isn't going to be his number 1 priority. And that's fine, because you've got Kyrie Irving and Kevin goddamn Durant. If he's asked to go to, say, I don't know, maybe a Philly.
Atlanta.
Or in Atlanta. Maybe then offense is a little bit more important. And do you trust sort of... he's certainly capable. He's certainly a capable scorer. His defense is his best asset for sure. But that's sort of because he's like a perfect combo guard. Like I really like Jrue Holiday. But I think people have him pretty well rated. Like the number 3 guy in the league is where he belongs.
Yeah, I would give this an alternative fact because it's just whenever a guy's spoken about more. And I mean, we're seeing right now with some of the video what he does on both ends of the floor. He's an awesome player. He's a top 20, top 30 player in the league based off, his defense and his offensive combination. Like I said, the combo guard, create his own shot. Not the best 3-point shooter, but can still hit it at a decent enough rate, and can create for others, create for himself, and is one of the best guard defenders in the league. One of the 2 or 3. It's probably Marcus Smart. Is probably maybe one of the only guys you can legitimately say, is better. Eric Bledsoe is really, really good too, but he flames out when it comes to the postseason, which Jrue Holiday has produced there time and time again. So for me, Nick, it's whenever one of these guys pops up in trade scenarios and trade talk, and we start talking about them more, that's when people are just like, oh, he's overrated. It's just like, well, no, but like 6 months ago, everyone was saying he's underrated because no one spoke about him. Yeah. It's just that we don't speak about these guys. If it's Jrue Holiday, if it's CJ McCollum. If CJ McCollum was in trade talks right now, guaranteed would be saying this topic would be CJ McCollum is overrated. It's just like, no, we're just looking at it from a standpoint where it's like there's an oversaturation of Jrue Holiday talk because the NBA, obviously, the restart is the big talking point. But the other big talking point of the week was Jrue Holiday. And everyone's just like, oh, Jrue Holiday this, Jrue Holiday that, Jrue Holiday. Well, can he do this? Well, let's give up the second pick for him if you're Golden State. It's just like, all right, let's try and maintain some level of objectivity here. And it is hard because, on a podcast or on Twitter or whatever, you want to give those hot takes. You want to give everything there. I think he's adequately rated. If we're looking at it from all standpoints, everyone has a differing viewpoint of what he is. I think you summed it up perfectly. One of the best sort of combo guards, offense and defense in the league. A perfect complementary guy to 1 or 2 superstars. And he can be the best defender on your team. Now, obviously, as a guard, is that where you want your best defensive player to be? Going up against LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard? Maybe not. But he has proven that he can go up against those guys for some possessions and such. Doesn't do it as well as, for me, as a guy like Marcus Smart, who I think is maybe the most versatile defender in the league. Maybe Ben Simmons can probably, though he's had into the ring there. Those are guys that show ultimate versatility as defenders in this league. So I don't think he's overrated, Nick. No, I just think that, because I heard this on a podcast, and I'm just like, and I immediately, the thought that came to my head is like, this will be a good talking point to have with Nick. And, you brought up some really good points. And again, it's just like, when we just talk about someone more, everyone just automatically goes, oh, he's overrated because we're talking about it. It's like Game of Thrones, or it's like a TV show, or it's like when we talk about, milkshakes. Oh, they're bringing it back next.
That's a sore spot, Jackie boy. That's a sore spot.
Milkshakes are overrated. I put it out there. Or maybe they're not overrated because we just talked about them on last week's podcast. Maybe. I think they're overrated. Maybe I need to take my own advice there. But any other, final points before we move on to our next topic?
Well, I just wanted to throw some players at you because
do it.
It's easy to say he's not overrated, but I think putting him in a spot in the league when compared to other players is a helpful exercise. So if you're taking you wrote down here, which I assume was to rile me up, Jrue Holiday or Bradley Beal, who are you taking? If I'm just I don't know if this requires an extended answer, but go for it.
Now, I put the poll out there, who should the Brooklyn Nets trade for? And obviously, the large majority, in fact, it was kind of close. Jrue Holiday got 48% of the vote. Your boy Bradley Beal got nearly 37%, and another 15% went for other. Yep. Now, Bradley Beal is an all-NBA caliber player, and was unlucky. He's not a good defender at all.
And that is why Jrue Holiday won that poll.
Of course. He is the perfect complementary piece to the Brooklyn Nets. To me, he's not Ben Simmons. He's not a guy who's one of the best wing defenders in the league. He's not. I don't know. I can't think of Jay Crowder, Jeremy Grant are guys that I would almost clamor for even more because of what they can provide in the postseason against some of the bigger guys that the Nets will be coming up against. But Jrue Holiday against guys like Stephen Curry. I think Damian Lillard. If we were to come up against them, when in the regular season and the postseason. Bradley Beal is by far a better player, Nick. Yeah, I don't discount that in any respect. He's one of the best scorers in the league. I think on many a podcast you bring up, his post AllStar break numbers. I feel like they're cemented in your subconscious and in your brain. Chelsea probably hears you utter them in your sleep. You say them that much.
30 points per game.
Yeah. Exactly. And look, Bradley Beal is one of the 10 to 12, 15 best players in the league. Jrue Holiday, as I mentioned earlier, one of the best 25, 30 best players in the league. But when you have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, it's a different sort of thing. But I also said when I was talking about on the Brooklyn Buzz, if you have Bradley Beal, you also have a point of reference where it's like, look, if KD and Kyrie are injured, Bradley Beal's happy to take the show. He's also, not that old. He's like 26, 27 years old. And he's got a long future ahead of him. He's in his prime and will probably be in his prime for a couple of years longer. Jrue Holiday is on the decline. I've made this reference point when comparing Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook on the incline and the decline of their careers. Now, obviously, Jrue Holiday's only like 30, 31. Bradley Beal's 27, so it's a lot closer. But I'm not trying to rile you up just putting this out there, mate. I was just sort of saying because in relation to my Brooklyn Nets, and I guess if you are a Brooklyn Nets fan, if you are Sean Marks, who would you trade for? Because if the Nets trade for Jrue Holiday in this offseason, that's it. There are no other options to trade for Bradley Beal or any other superstars, any other disgruntled superstars that come out on the market.
And they certainly have to give up less for Jrue Holiday, so I think it's a savvy move from that perspective. One more comparison.
Would they know? Because everyone's sort of just saying that, Caris LeVert would have to be in both packages. Now, if you don't have to give up Caris LeVert, then goddamn, give me your Jrue Holiday every day of the week. But if you have to give up Caris LeVert, I would rather get Bradley Beal in return.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to give up. I would expect that we would want like a Caris LeVert and a Jared Allen, whereas you could probably get away with just a Caris LeVert or some picks, whatever. And that is enough to sweeten the deal for Jrue Holiday. I think, especially because they've got Zion there who's going to be playing big minutes, power forward and around that area.
Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. So I think from that perspective, I think Caris LeVert is a given that people are going to want him. But I would be happy to get rid of him if I were you guys. But this is becoming. I would be if you're getting someone like Jrue Holiday or Bradley Beal in return, then by all means, ship him off. You've got enough. You've got a very good team, Jackie boy. You got a very good team. One more comparison: CJ or Jrue?
Jrue. In terms of. Player, that's a good one actually. I think
feel like that's closer than Beal and
much closer.
Beal and Jrue. I think that would be that's a good one because CJ is obviously better offensively.
And he's significantly better offensively, but then Jrue Holiday is significantly better defensively, and I think obviously it depends on team fit. Now, if you're just given one of the guys and you're playing a game of pickup basketball, who are you going to pick? Probably CJ McCollum. He's probably the best player to not be an All-Star. Jrue Holiday's got one, so we can't say that about him, obviously, because of his days in Philly. But that is a really good point. And if you guys, let us know in the comments. Jrue Holiday, Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum. Comment down there. Hit me up in the DMs if you want. We'll have a chat about it, or we might do a DBS of those three players next week if you guys let us know. But Nick, you've segued us nicely into a segment that I very much enjoy in this podcast, Brooklyn Bits.
Never gets old, Jackie boy. I mean, we've heard this music so many times, and it's so good. It is just, it's still so good. So Jackie boy, I'd love to know where this one has come from. Because apparently people are sleeping on Kevin Durant heading into next season.
Wake up, get woke, ladies and gentlemen, because people are sleeping on Kevin Durant heading into next season. Absolute bona fide fact. Now, I heard this on a Zach Lowe pod a couple of weeks ago, but I saved this topic because it's relevant now. Because there's articles coming out from guys who are incredibly intelligent, guys the likes of Mike Prater, who did a deep dive on the fact that Kevin Durant could come back better after the Achilles injury. Now, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying it either. Let's just put it out there. But the reason why he put it out there was because the nature of the Achilles injury. Now, I've said this before. He's right Achilles. Now, a right-handed shooter doesn't need and doesn't have to burst on his. He needs to burst on his left leg. And there was also a lot of his post moves that he jumps off his left leg as well, like the sort of Dirk fade away, all those sort of things. He needs his left leg and the strength in his left leg a lot. Now, will he lose some of that strength because he's compensating a little bit? Possibly. But we're also seeing him go up against your boy John Wall, who we'll talk about later in the episode, and former Washington Wizard Gilbert Arenas. And they were saying on a podcast of theirs, saying that KD was cooking us. He hit like 5 of 5, 6 of 6 in the first 6 shots. And I'm just like, oh, that is just music to my ears. And I'm not... I think he's going to be, obviously... We forget, like, he was in a tier of his own. He was the best player in the league. He had usurped the king after his playoff performances with the Golden State Warriors. Now, you shut the hell up, mate. All right? You shut your damn mouth. You can get out. You can get out, to use your words against you. Now, the article, I highly recommend everyone reading, and I promoted it as well on the Brooklyn Buzz recently. I recommend you read it as well, Nick. You do no preparation for our podcast. You should read this article because the basic premise was that KD doesn't use his lower body a lot for his shot, for his offense, the premise of his offense. The dip that everyone has, and you know a lot more about sort of shot mechanics, biomechanics when it comes to basketball because you teach it a little bit, you're a coach and stuff. And if you look at KD's dip, which is basically when you use your legs to get down and shoot up after you catch the ball, KD's dip is almost non-existent. It is that quick. And it's more upper body. It's more... The elasticity is coming from, and the shot is coming from his upper body rather than from the bending down, the sort of Draymond Green backpack shot, to put it that way. Whereas KD, you look at, you rewatch and you look at some of these clips that we're seeing right now. He also looked at some of the offensive moves that he has and the fact that he literally is maybe the most efficient scorer and the most versatile scorer ever. Like, he's just that good, and he's 7 foot tall. Sleeping on him is like, saying that he's going to be like a top 20 player. And maybe, I think he could be in MVP contention. I think he could be, that good. I think he's going to be motivated by all the naysayers. I think people are sleeping. I think they need to wake up. Joe Biden's the new president and KD is coming back. It is a new year at the end of 2020. It's leading into 2021. And KD is going to be, he's going to be speaking. He's going to be hooping and it's going to be awesome. And so, yeah, read that article. Really, really thorough, really awesome. Kevin Durant, I think, will be one of the, similar to my guy, Johnny Money McCarr made the comparison point with Dominique Wilkins, who came back at a similar point from the Achilles injury and was better. He also injured the same Achilles as Kevin Durant did. If there is any player in terms of the physical makeup of Kevin Durant, the individual skill set of Kevin Durant, he is going to be awesome either way. It's just going to be the level of awesomeness that we'll see when he does come back.
Obviously, I don't believe he has a history of any injury concerns.
He does have a couple in OKC. I think it was like some leg injuries there.
My memory is escaping me. But like
I'll look it up specifically.
The anecdotal evidence is promising for sure with Kevin Durant and other players that have improved because of this Achilles. And, he's obviously a very special talent, very special physically. So you expect him to bounce back and hopefully bounce back in a big way. I would love to know who's putting Kevin Durant outside of top 10 players in the league, even after this Achilles injury. To think that he is going to slip that much is astounding, truly astounding. So that you've blown me away with that take, and obviously you refuted it. You don't think it's going to happen. I definitely don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a very ginger start to the season. You're not going to see 38 minutes, 39 minutes straight off the bat from Kevin Durant, and rightfully so. I wouldn't expect it. You're not going to see back to backs. Kyrie you might see a few from Kyrie maybe. even that might be doubtful. You might know more on
shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he's got his fair share of injury concerns as well. Maybe you do need to keep Karis LeVert just to field as like a decent.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you need the depth. Yeah, so people are sleeping on Kevin Durant. If that's an overwhelming majority, obviously I feel like I've been living under a rock. You're giving me a lot of revelations here about Kevin Durant. That's shocking to me, but I would put this one as if that is true, as an absolute fact. If he is going to come back, he's going to come back and at least be a top 10, at least top 10 in the league. MVP conversation's a little bit as a stretch for me. Just given I don't think he's going to play as many minutes as potential MVP. I think Luka Doncic is I think this is the season for like an outlier MVP. Not that he's really an outlier. He's very good. But he's going to be playing most of the minutes for Dallas. Obviously, no injury concerns there. He is going to play close to the full 72 games. And I think a lot of superstars, especially ones who went late in the playoffs, aren't going to do that. And you're going to have the games as a sort of tick on Luka Doncic's side. So this could be a big year for him. But yeah, so it's 100% fact people are sleeping on him. If those are true, because he will come in and he will have an impact in the limited minutes that he will play. 100%. 100%.
Now, one person who isn't sleeping on Kevin Durant, Nick, is music superstar Adele. Now, we're going to turn into TMZ for a little bit. According to BlackSportsOnline.com, rumors of Katie's infatuation with Adele have been brought back up again. There's a rumor floating around that Durant and Adele had dinner in NYC. Adele was in New York recently to host SNL, and Katie allegedly went out with her. Now, never mind, he'll find someone like her.
Hey, very nice. I think they just called to say hello. No, that's not. That's one of her songs. It was bad. It wasn't as good as yours.
There's a good one here. Hello, it's KD. Yeah, that's pretty good.
You better. You've obviously had time to rehearse this stuff. I mean, you've been planning for weeks for that. I thought for some reason KD was married. He had a kid, had kids or something. No, for some reason, no. Okay, well, that's just
got flamed for his engagement, and it's just like, oh, is that in Cancun where you proposed? Oh, is that that's the only ring you're ever gonna get?
Oh yeah.
Some great, and yeah, there's a history of Kevin Durant's infatuation with Adele. You're dating back and you look at some previous tweets in his timeline. Yeah. He's a fan, and look, if we're talking about power couples, my God, Kevin Durant and Adele would be epic, and I'm a big Adele fan. I mean, she's got the most Cockney accent I've ever had. Adele, someone like you, when you actually hear her speak.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Antithesis of her, angelic in her voice. It's, insane. And I love her, Cockney accent as well. It's awesome. The James Corden carpool karaoke with her is awesome. So, here's hoping. Fingers crossed, because, I'm all for power couples in this league. Stuff Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker, Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. Adele and KD, that's where it's at.
Those babies would be cute as hell as well.
Damn straight. Holy crap, they would be so damn talented. They have the side and the sporty side. That's what you...
It's just me. It's me. They essentially create me. I mean, I've got the music side. I've got the sports side. I mean, I'm brilliant. I'm the perfect human.
What's the sport that you think you're best at? What's your expertise? Soccer, okay, yeah.
I'm not a bad basketballer though.
No, you're pretty good. Yeah,
I'm okay. When but I can pick up if I haven't played soccer if I haven't played basketball in a while, I'm straight trash. I can't shoot. My handle is so loose. But I can I played soccer and I was freaking pinging balls 40 yards. It was pinpoint passes. A good first touch. It's just, it's bred in me. I mean, I played soccer when I was 5 years old till I was 12 or something like that. So it's those early years really ingrained.
Pep Guardiola needs some frontline offense.
That's all right. Jesus is back. Gabriel Jesus is back. Yes, he scored. He scored Champions League, and Ferran Torres is doing work. He's doing work.
He's doing well. But,
Torres. I can pretend he's Fernando Torres.
Yes, you can. I'm sure Charlie wouldn't like you saying that. We had a couple more points till we get to off topic, Nick, and this is probably one that won't require a lot of discussion. Neither will the last topic, but I put them in here anyway. Nick, there is no chance James Harden will be traded to Philadelphia. Now, this was a rumor brought up basically probably at the start of this week. Shams Charania reporting that the Sixers had interest in trading for him. Now, Daryl Morey is obviously and we discussed this as well. Nick, is there any chance in hell in this current universe, or are we going to have to go to some of the Spider-Man multiverses and Spider-Gwen and Spider-Pig to Philadelphia 76er?
I mean, I just don't know what Philly would want to, like... What would they be willing to give up for...
Cause rather give up Simmons or Embiid?
Embiid. But if I'm pairing it with if I'm getting Harden, then that's probably Simmons. Who do I think is a better player? Who do I think is a better player? Simmons. So I'd be wanting to keep him. But if you're pairing someone with James Harden, then I'm probably pairing Embiid with James Harden.
See, I think Embiid at his best right now is still better, but I think Simmons is going to be better because I've said this before. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to be playing basketball into his mid to late 30s. I think that that he's 26 or something right now, and the longevity is not going to last in Philadelphia. And I think that after this season, Daryl Morey's going to need a strike. Now, are you going to send Ben Simmons back to play alongside Russell Westbrook? Oh my God, there will be bricks for days. They'll have to get sponsored by some bricklaying company there in Houston. Maybe
you could build a brand new stadium with the amount of bricks they'll be shooting.
Hey, Bazinga, you're back, mate. You're back. You're good. Well done. Well done.
I try.
I think you could certainly make an argument for either, but this is a fact. There's no chance it's happening. At least this season, I think both teams are going to want to at least see to the trade deadline, see what they have, see what success they can have, and if James Harden is disgruntled, then maybe there is an opportunity. But I think as it stands, you've also got Tillman Furtada sort of being like, always going to call him that. You've got Tillman Furtada, his former GM, now at the Philadelphia 76ers. Is his pride and his ego, shut up and listen, bookman, going to trade him to the person he formerly employed? I don't think his ego is going to allow him to do that, to be honest. So
I just feel like that this is only fueled by Daryl Morey. Like, I feel like there's no other basis for this to even be talked about other than, the Sixers have Daryl Morey now. It's like, it's not gonna. I feel like it's a baseless rumor. Maybe Harden's disgruntled. He's obviously lost his coach and his GM recently, and what state are the Rockets going to be in the next season? But I don't think Philly don't exactly have like a desirable roster. Like contracts wise, they're not exactly they haven't really kicked goals in terms of that. They've got a lot of players on a lot of shit contracts. And I don't think Rockets are going to want to take on some of those. If not, maybe they do get the superstar, but I don't think that happens anyway. I don't think they're splitting up those two. So if you're not splitting up those two, then who are you trading James Harden for? It's not. I don't know. I can't explain it any better than that. How it's not going to happen.
Leads us right into. We'll just leave it there, mate. We can go to your boy, the Wall Star, Nick. Speaking of Wall Star, John Wall will play at an All-Star level basketball next season for the Wizards. Now, my guy Billy Reinhart of Nets Daily brought this one up, and I threw it to you in our chat, and your response was
false. it's again, this is a sort of like a simple thing with the James Harden take.
Got the highlights playing though, Nick?
I don't have the highlights playing. Hold on.
Did you not do the James Harden highlights either?
I did. No, I did. I get a test to that one. I pointed the wrong way.
I can't see. So for those playing along at home, am I pointing that way?
It's the other way. It's the other way. Point the other way. There we go.
I can't tell. I don't have the screen in front of me.
It's hard. Life's hard, Jackie boy. It's maybe because it's the East. Maybe there's something to go on there. But, it's not like... is Tatum a forward? Or is he going to be... Is he... Sorry.
Let me look at last year's All-Star.
I was going to say, is Tatum a forward? I can't remember. Because if Tatum's a guard, Simmons is a guard, Trae Young is also a guard.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, well, you assume that Wizards aren't going to get 2 All-Stars. And, maybe Beal performs better than Wall. I don't know. I don't know how the Wizards will be set up for that. But if anyone makes an All-Star game, I think it'll be Bradley Beal. I think that a lot of scrutiny is going to come on to John Wall, obviously having almost 2 years out and seeing how he bounces back. He's not a spring chicken anymore, and his game is 100% speed and physical. I can't see him with the discipline to have shored up his jumper. To maybe he catches fire from 3. I don't know. I can't see it. Just sort of not in his wheelhouse, and he doesn't sort of have the mentality to just shoot shots in the gym. I feel like he's going to have the mentality of, no, I am not broken. I'm going to drive every single time. That's what I think he's going to do. And whether that works, whether his body can actually take that, we'll wait and see. But I don't think that equates to an all-star season for John Wall. I can't see that happening. Beal is too good and has showed too much to just play 100% second fiddle. I think that
Beal didn't even make the All-Star game last year either himself.
I know,
so.
which is like he will, and I think that'll help him. The outrage with Beal not making the All-Star game was tremendous, and the All-NBA. I don't even want to talk about that. But I think that will help him in his sort of campaign next year. To be like, people forgot about him for what he did. Maybe it's like a sympathy vote, or maybe it's like, well, he's not averaging as high numbers as he did last season, and he wasn't an all-star. Maybe he shouldn't be again, so it could work against him as well. I don't know. I think if anyone's an all-star, it'll be Beal before Wall. That's
okay.
Just because I think Wall has a lot to prove. Hopefully he proves me wrong. My God, do I hope he proved me wrong. I would love to see. I mean, we're seeing highlights of John Wall. He was one of the reasons I chose the Wizards. Just so dynamic, so fun. Such athleticism. Yeah, just like little, like the chemistry, which turns out wasn't that good, but like on-court chemistry between Gortat and Wall. It's one of my favorite things. Just the little shovel passes. I love them.
Polish hammer.
I loved those two. Those combos. And yeah, Wall is the reason I became a Wizards fan, so I certainly want him to come back fighting, and I'm skeptical.
The guards in last year's East were Kemba Walker, Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. Now,
Butler. Forgot about Butler.
Yeah, I'll put to. I think he was a guard and not a forward, or maybe Simmons.
I would have thought that he would be a forward, just off instinct. But he's sort of that awkward in between as well. Yeah.
Now, this might be just a pretty easy question and allows us to just move on to our off topic. Now, I don't think you summed it up pretty perfectly there. There's not a high likelihood, but if you were to take, who do you think is more likely, John Wall or Kyrie Irving, to make next year's All-Star team? Who do you think that is?
Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie. That's easy. Like you're getting so much talent. Forgot about that, man. Yeah, like when you really break it down, it doesn't add up. It doesn't even add up for a Beal All-Star appearance, if I'm frank, because those 5 guys that you mentioned aren't exactly going to take a down tick.
I think Kemba might, and Kyle Lowry might.
You reckon? I reckon the Celtics will be just as good. I think Kemba is so important for that team, and
he was pretty shit in the playoffs.
That's fair. I mean, he had some games. I still think that Kemba's in a similar spot. It's just like for years of no respect in Charlotte, and I think this is now his time to I think he'll make it. I don't see those guards changing. You're going to see Kyrie Irving possibly over Kemba Walker. I mean, maybe over Lowry. It really depends on what the Raptors doing, but you expect them to be just as good. I mean, nothing's really changed from their perspective. Yeah. So anyway, get back to the point. No, this is false. I don't think he'll make an All-Star game. Not this season. Even if he does play well, I don't think he'll make it. And maybe that sets his campaign up for the following season.
We shall see. Nick, how much time do we have to talk about ice cream?
15 minutes. 15 glorious minutes. Jackie boy, I don't have the off-topic music.
You had it last week.
I know, and I don't even remember. I don't even remember how I did that. So I might.
Sandwiches, toasted or fresh.
Hold on.
I can't remember
what
is it again?
Let me see if this will work. Hold on. Let me just where the hell is it? Oh god, I've lost it. But anyway, you explain the off topic, and I'll look for the music.
While Nick looks for the music,
I found the music. It's okay. Let me
off topic.
Let me
How about we play the basketball?
What the heck are you talking about?
Now the question is, pants or shorts?
Sandwiches, toasted or fresh?
He just sits on people.
That is complete shit.
What? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic?
What I love about that theme is that I remember when I recorded it, I was in London with you, I think.
Yeah.
And I was sick as, and you could hear it in my voice. Oh, God. Memories, Jack. Memories. I wish I could go back to London. That was a fun time. I love me some England's.
Who doesn't?
Jackie boy, ice cream.
Yes.
What do we got?
We're just talking about ice cream, Nick.
Just talking about ice cream?
First,
okay.
give me the Joe Biden video. The man loves his ice cream. That's the second one.
Hold on.
We'll play a bit of that. In honor of the 46th president
prepared.
of the United States of America. He loves a good lick. I should have said that.
Please don't.
But we're just talking about. I saw a tweet. Sort of just like, pick one of like ice cream flavors, mate. We can just bounce about it. I'll throw some flavors at you. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Now, this person
watching this video, I'm sorry, Jake. This is so unsettling.
I just typed in Joe Biden ice cream and I saw a CNN video. I'm like, let's chuck it on. Let's give it to Joey B. Now,
I'm so glad you can't see this.
Now, for some less disturbing images, you can play the food porn one where just there's an ice cream store and we see it getting made and stuff. But on Twitter, the cheating vegan said you can only choose one, and there were some flavors. We can do that quickly, but then we can have a broader discussion about the better and worse ice cream flavors. So the flavors that were on this post, Nicholas, were vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, mint chocolate chip, cookie dough, cookies and cream, butter pecan, however you want to say it, rocky road, and pralines and cream. Now, out of those ones, who are you picking? Now, if you pick vanilla, I'm going to stab you in the face.
Was cookies and cream on that list? Yeah. So I'm a cookies and cream guy. I love me some Oreo. It's such a good flavor. But I'm impartial to a nice vanilla. Like vanilla's probably second on that list because a good vanilla is, oh man, a good vanilla is good. You get the little specks of vanilla bean. So good. Chocolate is 100% worst on that list.
Oh my God.
Chocolate ice cream sucks so much penis. It's so bad. I have not had it's either fake tasting chocolate or it's just sickly rich. Chocolate ice cream is possibly more overrated than Jrue Holiday. And you heard it here first. You heard it here first. No, I mean, I love a cookies and cream. You didn't mention there, but a pistachio ice cream is...
I think cookie dough.
Cookie dough. Cookie dough's good, though. Cookie dough is good.
What are the... So for those planning on... I was craving it the other day just to Ben and Jerry's. Now, You know, having been to London, how cheap it is in comparison to here. It's like $5-6 Australian, whereas it's like $15 here. But your boy was craving it. It was a couple of days before his birthday. I was a little bit stressed out. I'm like, Jazz, you want some Ben & Jerry's ice cream? He's like, no. I'm like, I'll show you. He's like, yes. So I got
That's
in
the case. That is 100% the case in Australia because it's like no one wants Ben & Jerry's, mainly because it is so obscenely expensive.
It is.
It is so good.
And I just decided to treat myself. I got the cookie dough. I got the half-baked cookie dough, which is awesome because it's it just tastes so good, and it's got like a bit of caramel in there as well. Now, have you had Häagen-Dazs in the tubs as well?
Yes.
What do you prefer those two?
Ben & Jerry's.
See, I'm obsessed with pralines and the salted caramel and pralines or whatever it is for Ben & Jerry. Häagen-Dazs, because it is genuine salted caramel. It's not just like caramel. Like you can actually taste the sort of a little bit of the bitterness and the pralines, a little bit of the crunch there. I feel like you are getting all sort of like explicit with my food imagery here, but man, there are some good flavors of Ben & Jerry's that Australia just doesn't have. Like you know how like the Sainsbury's was just so close to where I was living, and every day they would expand that range and like a new flavor. There would be like and also shout out to Ben & Jerry's as well because they've been awesome in promoting Black Lives Matter and being just awesome humanitarians with their brand. So that's what makes us even bigger fans of BJ's. Now, Ben & Jerry's. But why Ben & Jerry's, Nicholas?
I feel like a Häagen-Dazs do like your stock flavors better.
Okay.
So so they will do the fucking top-notch vanilla.
Yeah, the vanilla's great.
But the flavor combinations that you get with Ben & Jerry's much more exciting. Like I love fish food, which is like it's got chocolate ice cream in it, which is sort of going against like what I said, but it's also got like ripples of chocolate sauce, and you've got some cookie dough in there. And I'm a massive fan of marshmallows in ice cream. They go all chewy, so good. So I'm a big fan of that.
Can you share your screen and go to just like type in Ben & Jerry's flavors, and we can just scroll down and let the people see at home what we're sort of talking about. Give that a go. I'll have a bit of a spiel while you're doing that. Now, I totally agree with you because we normally are quite contentious with our food takes here, and I totally disagree. In fact, I'm going to call you out on your chocolate take because it is obscene that you would disregard one of the great flavors of anything. Chocolate as itself, chocolate ice cream, chocolate cake, chocolate cookies.
It's just no. It's not good. Like I prefer like a chocolate if a chocolate chip cookie is great because the actual cookie is not chocolate flavored.
What about triple chocolate chip though?
No, Jack. The cookie needs to be cookie flavored, and then you got little bits of chocolate in there, and it's great. As soon as you start introducing chocolate, like chocolate flavoring is not that good. Like chocolate cake, nah. Chocolate milkshakes, nah.
Yes.
Chocolate ice. No, what are you talking about? It's the fruit flavors are the best. So like a strawberry, like if you're taking the chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, it's vanilla, it's strawberry, and then it's chocolate. Everyone knows that because the Neapolitan chocolate tastes like ass. It looks like ass. Tastes like ass.
About Homer and one of the most. Have you got the Ben & Jerry's flavors?
I do.
Now, before we scroll through and we have a bit of a chat about them, remember the scene from The Simpsons where it's Homer's like, chocolate, and he's getting all the Neapolitan.
Yes, it's such a faux pas. It is an absolute. No, it's wrong. It's just plain wrong. Chocolate ice cream is just an abomination to God, and I will not take that back. All right, we are looking at just a standard Ben & Jerry's ice cream pints because there was core ones, there was like promotional ones. I was like, let's just go.
Before you do get to them, is actually one of the topped ones that has, I think it's a salted caramel brownie flavor.
Yep, salted caramel brownie. Yep.
So, and I'm not sure if you're showing that right now or whatever,
yeah.
but in terms, it is epic because the top of it is like just the the chocolate topping sort of just like semi-frozen, and it, oh my God, it just oozes, and I can't get enough of it. And Australia doesn't have it. Like, the last time I had it was when I was living in London.
I haven't seen these flavors. Like,
these aren't available in Australia, Nick. Chocolate, salted caramel brownie, absolutely freaking epic flavors, and it's disappointing because we've got fish food, we've got the ones, your standard ones that you're probably scrolling.
Fish food, that's a good one. Which is chocolate ice cream, I must admit, but it is good. I like the I think it's the Jimmy. Is this the Jimmy Fallon caramel and chocolate ice creams with cookie dough and peanut butter bits. Peanut butter ice cream is amazing. So that's like the Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Dough, it's called. That's a good one. I'm a big fan of like strawberry cheesecake as well, because it's like vanilla and strawberry. It's like the best of both worlds. It's really, really good.
You love your cheesecake as well.
I do love my cheesecake. Yeah, so I'm looking at this one. I've never seen it before. Chunky Monkey, which I can get around. Which the banana ice cream with chocolate chunks and walnuts. That sounds pretty good. I mean, basic, but that sounds pretty damn good.
I think banana ice cream as a flavor and banana milkshakes as a flavor, banana anything. I think banana flavoring is maybe underrated.
I mean, we talked about this. Like, cherry flavoring doesn't taste like cherries. Banana flavoring tastes much better than bananas.
Oh yeah, we actually have discussed this. Yes. Man, we chat about some dumb stuff on this podcast.
Yes, we do.
In saying that, Nick, to sort of like put a pin on this, it's a wonderful discussion. We'll probably find some other. If you guys, again, comments below, any food things, any random things. Off Topic has a range we can just explore. Anything you guys want us to hear us talk about. But in saying that, if final sort of thoughts, if you were to create your own Ben & Jerry's flavor, you can combine some things, whether it's banana, you got some chunks of something, you got some sort of sauce, what is the base of the ice cream, give it to me.
Okay. Well, if I'm going to my go-to Cold Rock order, which I don't think is an American thing. I think it's just
like Dairy Queen and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like you get your ice cream base and then you just chuck a whole bunch of stuff in it. So my go-to is Milo ice cream, which definitely is an American thing. That is great. Milo ice cream with
Milo. A sort of malty, chocolatey sort of thing.
It's a chocolate sort of. It's like cocoa almost, like, but it's like a chocolate drink. You put in milk traditionally, but people put in like Nesquik. That's right. So Milo ice cream with marshmallows, little mini marshmallows. Maybe like a Twix or like a Boost or something, or like something like mashed up in there. Maybe some Maltesers, and then.
Getting a bit busy.
Yeah. And then either a cookie dough or peanut butter sort of cups things. So the chocolate and the peanut butter is a must. If I was sort of like to just create a Ben & Jerry's, it would be like a vanilla with cookie dough, peanut butter, and marshmallows. And maybe just like a chocolate sauce just to break it up a little bit, or maybe like a strawberry sauce. Just to get in between all the cricks and craggles. But the base is your vanilla, is your cookie dough, and your peanut butter with marshmallows.
Well, we've had Sportsbet come on board the podcast recently. Ben & Jerry's is next. You know where to find them, at JBT. Nick, am I pointing in the right direction? Am I?
Oh, as in to me, point this way.
Yeah. There we go. You didn't tell me where to point. It's very confusing for a person who can't see it, and I look like an idiot for anyone who's watching on YouTube right now. But I look like an idiot half the time anyway.
That's true.
Great discussion, my friend. I thoroughly enjoy these off topics, and I think we're gonna DBS off topic. I think we're gonna continue these because they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. It's great. All right. So that just about does it for another week. So we'd just like to say thank you for tuning in to Just Ball Things. As always, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Player FM, Spreaker, Spotify. Wherever it is you listen to your podcasts, we will be there. If you are listening to us on Apple, give us a rating and review if you're listening to us on the podcast. If you are catching us on the YouTubes, hit that like button, leave us a comment, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when fresh content comes out on the OCG network. Remember, it's you guys that make this show great, so we appreciate any and every post heading our way. So until next week.
Keep balling, superstars.